In this video, I'm going to share with you 10 tips that you can follow to truly learn the art of emotional intelligence. The first thing that you need to do is that you need to learn the art of pausing before reacting. So the thing is that whenever we feel an emotion, say for example it's anger, it's jealousy, or whenever there's uneasiness in our body, that reaction is not coming from our senses, it's not coming from our soul. That reaction is always coming from our ego. It's coming from a need to actually get our desired outcome in our mind, come what may. And whenever we have such a surge of emotions and we actually sort of spill those emotions outside, the result is never good. And without meaning to, if you keep reacting in this way, what will usually happen is that in the long run you will actually lose very good meaningful connections. So instead of being in this loop, just learn this technique of pausing before reacting. Any single time you feel a surge of emotions, tell yourself, it's gonna pause, I'm gonna take 10 seconds, 20 seconds, and even if you have to take a day, okay, unless and until you don't feel calm about the situation, unless and until you don't have yourself in control, do not react. Do not send that message, do not call that person, do not do anything. There is nothing to fix outside. Just sit with yourself and try to understand why you're feeling this emotion, where this anger is coming from, and what do you want from that situation. And once you have these 3 answers, and once you feel calm within yourself, only then take the next step to speak to the person. Now when you do this, whatever desired outcome you have in your mind, first of all, you will actually get that in a much faster way, right? Because people can actually see what you mean, people can actually understand what your point is, and that's exactly when you not only get your way, but you never really lose control and you never really lose face in terms of reacting. Tip number 2 is to understand that nothing in life is personal. Someone attacking you, someone lashing out, someone doing this, someone doing that. Sometimes when people do these things to us, we feel like, oh my god, how can they do this to me, how can they do that to me, such a nice person, I'm this and that, like let me give them my peace of mind, let me show them who I am, and whatever we do. So all these things, whenever we engage in such impulsive behaviors, when someone is lashing out on us, we're actually losing our sense of self, we're losing our frame of reality, and we're just reacting for no reason. If we can just understand that some people are coming from their own ego, they're coming from their own hurts, they're coming from their own pain, and no matter how much we lash out on them, no matter how much we react to them, they are never going to change. So it is better to understand that whatever they're screaming in our ears, whatever they're yapping about, it's not personal to us, and just let them be, and do not engage in anything which doesn't really need your energy. And I'll give you an example right now. There was a time when me and my sister, we went to a salon and we were getting our eyebrows done, and the lady that had first she did mine, and then it was my sister's turn. So when she was doing mine, the way she was doing it was really harsh. Like my eyebrows, she was really hurting it, and I told her that I think it's hurting me, can you please be a little soft with me? And she's like, no, this is how I do it and whatever, and she just kept doing it over and over again. And somehow I got through the pain, and then it was my sister's turn, and then again with my sister as well, she's doing the same thing, and my sister's like, it's hurting me and everything, and I'm like, it's hurting her, can you please not do it? And that's when she lost it. I don't know what got into her, she just lost it, and she screamed at me, and she's like, you come do it then, I don't know what to do, and all these things. And I was like, for a second, I could not believe it. I actually looked when she was screaming at me you come do it, I was like, is she talking to someone else? Is she really speaking to me like that? And for a second I was just in shock that the way she lost her mind. And then I looked at my sister and I looked at myself, and I was like, okay, what do I do? Do I just do I react? Do I say something? Because obviously it's a little disrespectful when someone just screams at you like that. But then at the same time I realized that me engaging and shouting at her, screaming at her, and just getting in that energy of anger and reaction and disrespect is actually going to spoil my mood in the long term. And I'm not going to remember this conversation, I'm going to remember her after after I leave this salon, honestly. So why do I want to engage in that? So me and my sister just looked at each other, and we just started laughing and what do we do? And I was like, okay ma'am, I'm don't get stressed, it's just that it's really hurting us, so if you can just get someone else to do it, that'll be fine, and let's you just go relax and have some water or something. And then someone else came, someone else did it. But yeah, it didn't really affect me after that, and that's only because I didn't engage in that behavior. So just look at the person that is losing it and ask yourself if you really want to engage in that energy, and if it's even gonna serve you in the long term. And if you feel I'm not gonna see this person in 2 days, and I don't care about this person that much, so I don't want to lose myself and react and get my mood off, just don't do it. Okay, the only time you should engage and you feel anger and everything and you should engage is when it's a friend, it's someone you care about, if it's your relationship, if it's someone that matters, right? It's someone that you genuinely want to seek resolution from. And if that person is reacting and that person's acting crazy and you want to talk to them about it, that's when I think you should engage. But if it's someone random, just avoid it. Tip number 3 is to learn to take criticism well. We're living in a world where you feedback to someone, you like, you could have done this thing better, you could have done that thing better, and they just lose it because they can't take someone sort of giving them some criticism, right? If you're always trying to chase approval, if you're always trying to get praise for your work, for everything that you do, you will never grow as a result of it. The only time you will actually grow in your life, you guys, is when you take feedback and is when you take criticism. So when someone is blunt with you and someone gives you honest feedback, again, don't lose it. Don't defend yourself. Don't start defending your points and saying that, I did this, I did that, you don't see this, you don't see that. Be like, okay, like, where are you coming from? What's your point? Let me hear your POV. And every single time you're open to hearing someone's POV, you're open to hearing, where, you might have been wrong, where, you might have done something wrong. You can always learn from those insights, okay? And I feel like I'm someone who's very blunt. I'm someone who's very blunt with my opinions, and if someone asks me what do you think, I'm very blunt and I can tell them, but I'm never coming from a place of ego. I'm never coming from a place of I'm gonna put you down. I'm always coming from a place of that, you know what, you can like really do this, you can really do that, and that will really help you. And sometimes that delivery does come out to be a bit blunt, but it's never from a bad place, right? And I actually appreciate people who are actually blunt with me, because every single time someone's been blunt with me, even if it's as simple as that, you know what, like, you've gained a little weight, your face looks a little puffy, and I think you should start cutting it. And that's what me and my sister do with like each other. Like whenever we gain weight, we are the first ones to tell each other. And if this seems toxic to you guys, I'm not saying it in a toxic way, it's just a healthy way of looking at life, okay? A healthy way of keeping your body, and we like to stay in check with each other and be very blunt with each other, and because of that we always benefit from a result of it. And I never take criticism as this thing that is attacking me unless someone is meaning to, right? So you always know when someone is giving you like genuine constructive feedback, like even if it's sometimes blunt, like you've gained weight, or you're not taking care of yourself anymore, or you're not studying that much and you should have studied, why aren't you studying, or that this thing that you built is not that good, you can actually do better. It's always coming from a place of power, right? It's always coming from a place of wanting you to evolve more. But when someone's just like dismissing you for no reason, or telling you that like, what the hell, like, I don't like you, or I don't like the way you look, that is actually wrong. That you should never like take well. But yes, have that discernment. The next thing that you need to do is to also understand that it takes two to tango, right? So whenever you're having a fight with someone, whenever something's going wrong in your life, or there's some situation where you're losing your emotions, or you feel like someone's done you wrong, again, one thing I will always teach on my channel, that you are responsible for your part, okay? Other person can be responsible for their part. Maybe they did some things that you didn't really like, but it always takes two to tango. It always takes two to tango. So whenever you're in a disagreement, whenever you're in a fight, even if you're feeling emotional, even if you're feeling angry, even if you're feeling mad or dismissed, always have that understanding that if you're having a conflict, the blame can never be on one person entirely. There always has to be something that you are responsible for. So say for example, if you're someone who is in a toxic relationship, now does that mean that the person is not toxic, that person is not not a bad person? 100%, it can be true. All of that can be true. But now if you are an emotionally intelligent individual, you will not continue to talk about them, like, this person does this to me, this person that does that to me, and like yap about them and not change the situation. If you're an emotionally intelligent individual, you will always like pause, and you'll be like, okay, why am I in this situation again? Why am I with this toxic person again? Like, I don't deserve this, and I actually have gotten myself in the situation. I'm actually giving this toxic person a chance, and I still have 100% and full power to change that. So who is responsible for me being in this toxic relationship? It's actually me, because I'm actually still with this person. And that is why you have to take radical responsibility for where you are at in your life, and then be like, I'm not going to be in this situation, I'm not going to tolerate this behavior, and go move out. The next thing that you can do is to become very aware of your triggers. Anything that triggers you is a gift, it's a blessing. So many people will look at pretty girls and they'll just get triggered. Like, they will look at them and they will have 10,000 assumptions about who she is, how her life is, that she's a mean girl, she is this, she's that, and they just get triggered, right? If you're someone who gets triggered by things that are intimidating for you, instead of again projecting that blame on that girl, projecting that blame on the situation, projecting that blame outside of yourself, be like, why am I triggered? Do I even know this person? Do I even know who they really are? Why am I triggered by them, right? Or why am I so intimidated or jealous of this person right now who has this success or who has this money? The reason is that there is a part of you that feels like you also want that, right? That's the only way, that's the only reason we trigger, because we feel like these people have these things and we don't have that, and that makes us feel less about ourselves. Or we sometimes feel like this person is this way and they will reject me, or they're mean, or whatever, and that again has to do with you, because you don't even know those people, or you don't even know what the situation is, what what it took for them to get where they are. We don't know anyone's life story, so we judging them or whatever, it has nothing to do with them. It has everything to do with us. Whenever something triggers you, take it as a blessing, take it as a gift, and be like, wow, thank you. Why am I triggered right now? Okay, this person is rich, it's making me angry, that means I need to get rich. I need to somehow figure out how I can make money, or I can maybe ask this person, and start feeling secure in that. If someone's pretty, then I can also present myself better. I can also become prettier. So why am I getting triggered with this girl and hating on her for no reason? Let me just become friends with her and ask her how she does it. Right? You can always learn from people. Which brings me to my next point, and that is that emotions are basically energetic portals, or emotions are the best things that you can get. So to actually master emotional intelligence, you also need to learn how to use emotions. So say for example, if you feel anger, you feel pain, you feel jealousy, these emotions are beautiful. These emotions are the best, right? Who has ever grown when they're gaga happy? So if you're someone who feels struggle on a daily basis, if you're someone who feels jealousy on a daily basis, anger on a daily basis, congratulations. That means that you have scope to grow. You have scope to become someone better. Feel anger and you're like, this person did me wrong and I hate this person or whatever. Take that anger and be like, I'm going to show this person who I am, okay? And whatever you feel, I'm going to become so good. I'm going to become so amazing. I'm going to become so nice. And just take all that anger and channel it into something beautiful. Because when you feel that fuel from something negative, it can take you so far. Which brings me to my 7th point, and this one's very, very important for anyone who feels like they're not respected. Another thing to become emotionally intelligent and to want that respect from other people, you need to understand that respect is earned when respect is given. A lot of us, we want respect from other people, right? We want everyone else to treat us in a top tier way. We want top tier treatment, but you cannot get respect if you yourself do not respect people. You do not respect other people's time, you do not respect other people's space. If you are always demanding from other people and you're never appreciative of their presence, of their energy, what they're doing for you, no one will want to give more to you, right? So instead of always being in the stage of demanding more, wanting more, give me this, give me that, I deserve this, I deserve that, just because I am, instead of doing that, be like, okay, how can I first of all respect this person more? This person is not a doormat. This person is not just this random person. This person also has a personality. They also have opinions, they also have views, and I need to see people for not what they give to me or what they can do for me, but for who they are. And whenever someone does something to you, show gratitude for it. If you do something wrong, take accountability for it, and always respect people's time, people's space, and people's energy. And the thing I've seen in my reality is that the more I respect people, the more I receive respect back from every single person. And even in my career, every single person I've worked with, even from my first internship that I had when I was literally in college, I did 2 internships and then I did jobs and stuff. Every single person, even the founder, every single person, even the men, have really respected me, and they've always asked me, Rishi, what's your opinion? We want to know your opinion, and how do you think we should do these things? And I've never been disrespected. My opinion has never been left out. It's always been appreciated. It's always been taken into consideration. And the reason why that is because all my meetings, I was always on time. Whenever my founder gave me any feedback, I was the first one to implement it. I was the first one to get every single thing done. And whenever some instructions were given to me, I was very meticulous with my work. I was never lazy with my work, and I always took my work ethic very seriously because I respected the company I was in and respected the work I was given. And that's what my dad has taught me, that no matter who it is, if it's your senior, if it's your elder, you always have to respect them. The next thing, which is so important if you really want to master the art of emotional intelligence, is to also become a safe person. This is such a big thing, and this is one of the biggest things. I always look for safety in people. I can only become friends or become close to people who I feel safe around, for me, or even work with people who I feel safe around. If I feel safe with someone, that's the only time I'm engaging with them. Sometimes people are in their head, they're in their feelings, they say mean stuff, they get triggered for no reason, they do this, do that, and no one wants to be around a person who is always trying to put you down for no reason. That putting down can be jealousy, can be insecurity, for any other reason, right? We never know other people's reasons. So one of the best ways to actually become emotionally intelligent is to do all the steps and take the responsibility and just become a safe person to be around, a safe space to be around. So when people come to you, they're not scared that you're gonna lose your shit, or people are not scared that you're gonna get triggered for no reason. When they talk to you, you actually listen. You're not just listening to yap, and to talk about yourself more. You're actually sitting there, you're listening, and you're valuing other people's opinions, you're valuing other people's attention, and you're giving them the space and the energy that they need. That's when, true connections are formed. That's when true feelings are formed. So instead of, asking people like, you never open up to me, you never tell me anything, you never do this to me, again, it's only because the person doesn't feel safe with you. If that person felt safe with you, you would be the first to know. So instead of demanding people to open up to you, demanding people to be emotionally available for you, demanding people to tell you how they feel when they're hurt, become a safe person. If you're just safe, people will feel open to tell you anything that they're feeling, right? It won't be this thing that you're scared to tell you, because most people want to talk about how they feel. They want to talk about their, feelings, their life circumstances, what's happening or what's happened or whatever. The more someone can feel safe with you, naturally the more they will open up to you, right? And with that, we come to our last point, which is very, very, very important. When you become someone who's emotionally regulated, when you become someone who's emotionally intelligent, you don't react to every single thing, you take responsibility, chances are people might think that you're emotionally regulated and you're this calm person, you don't react that much. So they might want to take you for a ride, or they might take your respectful nature, they might take your amazing nature for someone who is a pushover. But that is where you also need to learn how to draw limits, because if you're just warm and amazing and beautiful and a good energy to be around, but when someone belittles you, you don't say anything to that person, then you are not operating from a highest frequency, right? So always remember that yes, treat people with respect, treat people with calmness, and don't react when someone does disrespect you. When someone still is not, treating you with respect, or not understanding your opinions, or understanding where you are coming from, then that is when you have to take a stand for yourself, okay? That can be you literally telling them that, what, you can't speak to me like that, or, I don't agree with you and you can't be doing that to me, or you, like taking your space out or cutting people off if that makes you feel safe, or you calling out their behavior, calling out their reactive behavior if that annoys you, and you basically standing on business with even this part of yourself, okay? So not just the nice, happy, like, a warm person, but backing it up with competence, backing it up with a backbone, because that is when you truly become magnetic. That is when you truly become this person who is amazing, who's nice, who's cordial, but everyone knows that you are not to be taken for a ride, okay? And that is exactly the combo that you want to master. And lastly, the last point is that build an identity of someone who is naturally high value, someone who doesn't react, someone who respects themselves, someone who respects their time, someone who just is that high value person. Because no matter how much we try to change on the outside, if our identity is always pulling us back, so if internally I see myself as a people pleaser, or as someone who doesn't have standards, or someone who will not respect myself in situations, and no matter how many tactics or tips and all I implement, nothing will work. Which is why my core message has always been your identity matters. From your identity, every single thing automatically shifts. And if you're wondering how to build this beautiful identity and how to actually become the 2.0 version of yourself, I actually made a full masterclass, which is an amazing masterclass. I've put all my heart and soul into this, this 30-minute or 40-minute class. So I will leave that masterclass right here, and I highly recommend you check it out and you start building the identity from today. And if you also want to work with me one-on-one to build this identity, you can book a free call with me where I'm offering you a one-on-one consultation on exactly how I can help you best support your goals and how to build the identity. So you can book that call and you can watch this masterclass. And that is it, you guys, for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one.